guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, Kilos and Cosplay. Today we are doing my entire manga collection tour. It has been a year in the making. I believe the last video I did of my collection when I first kind of really starting to get into it was like almost a year ago or a year ago. So if you want to see where that all started, I will link that for you. If you want to check that out, if not, no big deal. I'm a little embarrassed of some of my videos. But my oh my, has it grown since then. I honestly, when I first got into it, I didn't think I would be this obsessed. But not only did I have to buy 2 bookshelves, move so many things around, and try to sort out my life to get it all to fit in here, is insane. And it has been quite a journey. It's also one of the best things I feel like I ever started collecting, because I feel like it took my appreciation for anime to a whole new level, because man, manga is just beautiful and so cool, and there's so many cool stories that you are missing out on if you do not read manga, because obviously not everything gets an anime adaptation. So I feel like it's really opened my eyes, and my appreciation just through the roof at this point. I am so excited to show this all to you guys. I'm really proud of my collection. And just a quick little thing, if we reach, or when we reach, 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. I'm thinking doing a $50 gift card giveaway of a place of your choice. So once we do that, I will sort out more details and we will go from there. But just a little heads up, so if you're not subscribed and you want to possibly win something, just saying. If you don't want to, not a big deal. But just throw that out there. Okay, so enough of this, enough of me talking. Let's get into it, because boy, do we got a lot to get through. Okay, so I'm doing this handheld, so it's going to be a little janky, but we are going to start with the smaller kind of section that's on my desk, and I will try to kind of explain some of the mangas, but just for the sake of time, I might not go through all of them, especially the ones that I haven't read. So just a heads up, I do plan on doing like manga recommendations and videos and stuff like that. And also doing stuff like that on TikTok if you want kind of like a shorter rundown of some of them. So if you want to check that out, I will link my TikTok in the description box and you can check it out there. Okay, we're starting on this shelf. We have a couple volumes of The Daily Lives of High School Boys. I don't have anywhere to put them right now, so they're just kind of vibing right there. I like this series. It's kind of more episodic and just really just comedic and laid back, like nothing too serious. If you want something just kind of lighthearted between maybe like things like Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man, definitely check that out. Working our way down, I haven't started reading this yet, but a lot of people have been hyping it up, and just flipping through the pages, it seems like it's been pretty good. So we have Undead Unluck, and it's 1 through 3, and the covers are interesting. Like, I don't know how to explain the art style, but kind of vibe with it. Up next, we have 1 through 6 of Spy Family. That is what is currently out. This is one of my favorites, probably one of my more favorite shonen jumps. If you're looking for something with action, but humor, and also kind of some sweet moments, definitely check this out. I very much enjoy it. I cannot wait for him to be animated. Oof. But I love Anya. She is the cutest thing. I love Yor. She's great too. And their awesome dog bond. And then you'll kind of get to know these other characters, but I won't spoil who they are. But definitely check this out. Then working our way over here, we have 1 through 3 of Star-Crossed. If you have ever, almost dropped it, but if you have ever read Kiss Him Not Me, this is the same mangaka. If you can tell kind of by the art style, and there's even some little like moments that she puts in, kind of giving more backstory, or more kind of what happened after Kiss Him Not Me. So there are some little side ending stories, so if you ever want a little bit of more Kiss Him Not Me, check out the back of these volumes and you'll get a little more. But basically, Star-Crossed is where a girl ends up switching places with her, or actually she switches bodies with her favorite idol. So they have to kind of navigate that. And there's a lot of drama and unexpected rivalry that I didn't see coming. I just caught up to the 3rd volume. That's all that's currently out. And I am very interested to know what happens next. So I can't wait to get volume 4. It's very, I don't know how to explain it, but if you did not like Kiss Him Not Me, you will more than likely not like this. It's kind of the same energy. So just a fair warning. Alright, I pulled down what was sitting up here and just brought it forward to make it easier. But we have these 2 volumes of I Can't Stop Cursing You, which is actually a new series that's out. I haven't started reading it yet, but it looks really interesting. I'm not honestly 100% sure what happens, and I'm kind of just going in blindly, but the art style is super pretty, so that's what drew me to it, and it seems kind of like it's got a nice, like, bit of a creepy vibe, so I'm into it. Then we have a random volume of Kamo, Packed with Spirit World. I just happened to find this at Barnes & Noble, and it kind of intrigued me, but it's pretty much about a kid who is very sick. He's always been sick, and he's getting close to death. Like, he needs a heart, like a whole new heart, but don't know what's going on with that. But on his deathbed, he ends up having a spirit come to him and be like, hey, I'll hook you up with a new heart or a new body. I can't remember if it's just all that. But you have to defeat some spirits. So we don't know what's the catch or what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see where that goes. Then back here, we have Welcome to the Ballrooms, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. I really like the anime, so I wanted to start to collect the manga because I also really enjoyed the art style of it. I will say, if you don't want to bother with the manga and you just only want to watch the anime, you'll still be pretty much just caught up. I think it's on, like, the author is either on a hiatus or something. I can't remember. So the anime is actually a little further ahead than the manga. So if you did not want to collect the manga and just go straight to the anime, you'd pretty much get the whole same story. But I personally just really liked it, so I wanted to start collecting the manga. Alright, working our way back, we have 1 through 4 of My Dress Up Darling, which is actually getting an anime adaptation this, I think it's this year, I'm pretty positive, like later this year, maybe in the summer, fall. But I've only read volume 1 and I really like it. It's cute, I like it, but it is very obviously kind of fan servicey, so if you don't like that, probably not for you. But it's pretty much kind of like this unpopular shy boy who works for his family shop, and he makes like dresses and dolls and stuff, and the girl, she ends up finding out, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot their names, but she ends up finding that out, and she's like a super popular girl, but she approached him, she's like, hey, I cosplay, but I suck at sewing, would you help me? So it's gonna be interesting to see their kind of relationship grow. Working our way over here, we have Boys Run the Riot. I have not started reading this yet, but I do know that it is a trans kid, so it is, I believe, actually both of these characters are trans, so they kind of find a connection with that, and I don't remember all what they do. I don't remember if they start like a clothing thing or what, or if they just are friends. I honestly can't remember. It's been a minute, but this is something that is on my to be read list, so I'm hoping to read it pretty soon, and then hopefully I will be able to put that in a reading log. Which I'm sorry about that. I've been meaning to get around to doing reading logs, but life has just been weird, and now I'm working from home, so kind of like once I finally got into routine, it got disrupted. So anyways, then we have a single volume of Cells at Work Black. This is pretty much a adult version, obviously, of Cells at Work. It just covers more adult topics, but it's the same concept of kind of showing what happens in your body and showing like the white blood cell, but they're anime characters, so there's a bunch of things, I think, like drugs, alcohol, sexual things, so it kind of shows you all that. Working our way over here, we have Night of the Ice. It's volume 1 and 2. I definitely plan on continuing and picking up the series. I really like it. if you liked Yuri on Ice, I think this is a good little kind of filler until maybe one day we get more information, but kind of the same energy, except it's a guy and a girl and their childhood best friends, and he's always had a crush on her. So, and he's also an ice skater, obviously a pretty famous professional one. So I'm very intrigued to see where it goes, but it's really cute so far. So definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you at all. Then working our way back here, we have volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of BJ Alex. It is in the English, or it's the English version. So we're not caught up all the way, but one day I'm hoping they will print them all because this is a fantastic series. But it's very spicy, so definitely gotta be 18 plus to read it. And it's pretty much about BJ stands for broadcast junkie, and there is this really quiet boy that just really happens to like watching BJ Alex do his webcam stuff. And just happens to turn out that they go to the same school, and their relationship kind of goes from there. There's some other great characters in there. I really like the side couple. We have MD, and I forgot how to pronounce the other kid's name, but oof. I almost think I like them more so far. At least that's my conclusion so far. So I'm interested to see how the main couple kind of starts to work things out. All right, now working our way to the middle shelf, we have some Tokyo Revengers, but it is in the Japanese. Obviously, so we don't have the English out just yet, but we will be getting that later this year. I just got them because I'm very obsessed with Tokyo Revengers, and the covers are just beautiful. I mean, you can even see kind of how they look on there. So cute. Working our way up, we have the single volume of Kaiju number 8. Haven't started reading that yet, but it is really popular from what I've been seeing, so I'm very excited to get into that one. And then we have 1 through 5 of The Incurable Case of Love. Oof, I love this series, but it's like a doctor-nurse kind of relationship. The nurse has always had a crush on the doctor, but she actually only went to be a nurse because she had a crush on him. She met him when she was a teenager, and then she decided she was going to go and be a nurse so she could meet him again. And he was not what she remembered or expected him to be, but I really like their dynamic and how that all plays out. I definitely will be picking the last few volumes, 6 and 7, so it's kind of a shorter run if that is something that would interest you. But it's great to have actual adult relationships, so super recommend. It's got a nice little amount of spice from time to time, so definitely check it out. Alright, so I pulled down what's up here and put it here so it's a little easier, but we have volume 1 of Dream and Sun. Haven't started reading that yet, so I honestly can't remember. I can't remember who the author was for that, but they wrote something else I like. I can't remember if it was Orange or another one. I honestly can't remember. But I do want to start that eventually, but I just have not got around to it, and I think sometimes the volumes are out of stock a lot, so I'm kind of scared to get invested and then not be able to find them. Then we have Dr. Stone. It is the prequel, so it kind of tells the story of how the world came to pretty much be stone. So kind of what happened and how they were the only surviving people and how they kind of had to navigate that. So it's a good one. Then we have just volume 4 of Nana. Very hard series to collect. It's out of stock quite often, so I have a lot of it back ordered, and I'm getting, I think, the first volume in this next shipment. Don't know a whole bunch about it, but I know it's really popular, and I know they're adults, so we love that. And then we have My Status as an Assassin. Obviously exceeds the hero. Haven't started reading this yet. I just like the cover, and I guess I've kind of been into like the assassin kind of vibe, so I will let you know how that one is. Then we have volumes 1 of Seraphim of the End. This one is also a tough series to collect as it is out of stock quite often, and I really liked the anime, and because of one reason mainly. A very pretty boy, but it is actually a pretty good series. It's kind of like vampires take over the world and humans are kind of like the They kind of like destroy human race except for some kids. And then those kids get experimented on, and it's kind of the escape story of one of the kids. So don't know how much more to go into that, but it is a really good series. And these are kind of out of order, but 1, 2 of the Misfits of Demon King Academy. I really like this. I love the anime, so I wanted to collect the manga. As far as I know, I think the mangaka did pass away, unfortunately. But pretty much the Misfits of Demon King Academy, we have Anos, and he is the overpowered actual like demon king that got reincarnated as a human. So he has to kind of keep proving that he is the demon king and work his way up that way, but he's like wrecking everybody on the way because he is just an overpowered MC. But he is really funny, and I really enjoy the series. And then we have Orange Future. I don't honestly know if I will ever collect Orange because the anime was very triggering to me, and it almost pushed me back into a really deep depression. So don't know if I would even bother, but I did want to know about Orange Future, so I might just end up reading that part just so I kind of know what happens kind of in the future. Alright, working our way back, we have volumes 1 and 2 of the Quintessential Quintuplets. I might stop buying them and then just get the box sets because I think box sets are coming out. But I really enjoy the anime, so I wanted to start picking up the manga, but it's pretty much about obviously some quintessential quintuplets. But there's like quintuplets, and they're all not doing too hot in school. So their dad ends up hiring a tutor for them that's like another student in their school, and he ends up kind of getting into his own harem in a way. So, but it's really good besides that. A lot of best girls in there. Then we have 1 through 2 Food Wars. I have not started reading it, but I mean, it's that weird cooking anime and manga. Then we have Love and Focus. It is just 1 through 3. If you like Those Not So Sweet Boys or Those Wolf Boy Is Mine, you would like this because it's the same mangaka, and the covers are super cute, but it's pretty much obviously kind of a love triangle. We have some childhood best friends, and then a kid that has, I think, has an interesting past, but he doesn't like his face, but she just wants to keep taking pictures of him because she really likes photography and stuff. But it's a nice short read, and I feel like it wraps up pretty well. So if you want kind of a short little romance, this is a good one. Up next, we have Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. I really, really like this. But if you like Kami-sama Kiss, which we also have here too, definitely check that out. It's kind of the same energy, but pretty much a girl, her grandpa passes away, and he leaves a big debt that he made in the spirit world. And she was his, like, her grandpa pretty much gambled her away to the, like, inn's, like, owner. So she has to marry him or she'll be killed. But she's like, no, I'll pay it back. I feel like I'm kind of explaining this horribly. But she pretty much has to make money and pay it back, and she starts a bed and breakfast. And it's kind of a good showing of like monsters and humans coming together in a way by the power of food. So it's really good though. Definitely check it out. Love of Kill, haven't read it yet, but I know there's an anime adaptation coming out. Then we have Toradora, is another pretty popular romance anime. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I did want to start collecting the manga, mainly because I hear the male lead is better looking in it. And that was my main objective. And then we have Ajin, which I also haven't started reading yet either. Alright, working our way to the last little bit, we have Cheeky Brat. This is super good. It kind of gives me Maid-sama vibes. So if you like that, you kind of like a strong girl lead and a very, I'd say, open to how he feels about her boy. definitely check this out. Then we have My Love Mix-Up, Volumes 1 and 2. I really like the series so far, and I can't wait for Volume 3, because I'm dying to know what happened, because some interesting events have happened, and I'm really wanting to know what happens next. But this is pretty much a boy. Let me actually pull this out here so I can explain a little more. But we have, let me set this down. We have he likes her and she likes him, but he needed to borrow an eraser from her, and he gets an eraser that happens to have his name on it, so that's how he kind of made that correlation. He ends up dropping the eraser, he picks it up, so he thinks he's in love with him, and he's like, ooh, this is awkward, and he doesn't want to tattle on her. So he's like, yeah, that's fine, I totally have a thing for you, sorry. And he's like, I don't know if I can return your feelings. Then a little while later, he's like, you know what? Well, I will hear you out. Let's start as friends. We'll see where it goes. So that's obviously quite a mix-up. And then we have My Wolf Boy's Mine. I haven't started reading this yet. Then High School Debut, volumes 1 through 3, and then 4 to 6. And then Skip Beat 1 through 3. Up here we have Mashal, which is Magic and Muscles. I really like this series. It is kind of like a combination of Mob Psycho 100 and Harry Potter to an extent, but it's pretty much a boy doesn't have magic powers, but he is just super like strong, so he's taking down magic even just strictly with his muscles. And it's super funny though. Then we have 1, 3, and 5 of My Next Life is a Villainess. All Routes Lead to Doom. I really liked the anime, so I definitely want to start the manga. This is so good, but it's pretty much a girl dies, gets put into one of her favorite otame games, where she is the villain, and all the routes lead to her death. So she has to learn to make sure that doesn't happen, and she gets to live such a dream life. She has boys and girls just fall in love with her left and right, even though she's supposed to be the villain. Alright, up next we have The Apothecary Diaries. I have not started this series yet, but it looks super pretty, and that's what drew me to it. Then we have The Saint's Magic is Omnipotent. It's also a really good series. If you like kind of like Yona the Dawn and Snow White with the Red Hair, it's kind of like a child, it's kind of like their child if you combine them. Then we have How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. I really like this. If you are a weeb who likes the gym, this is perfect. Even if you don't, it's just super funny and honestly really educational. And then over here we have Skip and Loafer, which is kind of like a newer take on some shoujo, but it is really good. We have a girl that wants to be pretty much become like just a politician or just some kind of average job. And then we have a boy who is just kind of gives golden retriever energy, and he's obviously really popular, but it's interesting to see their dynamic together. But it's really cute though, so definitely check that out. And working our way back, we have The Demon Prince of Momoshi House. It just gives me big like Kami-sama Kiss vibes, so that's what kind of drew me to it. As well as The King's Beast. It's just super pretty, and that's why I picked it up. I honestly don't know really anything about it. Then we have Prince Freya, where I know that a prince is killed, and there is a girl that happens to just look like him, so she has to kind of take his place. But that's all I know. I haven't read it yet either. Then we have Tanaka and Hana, or Tanaka and Hana. I really am excited to read this one, but it's pretty much, this is an age gap, so just a heads up, but this girl ends up going to an arranged marriage meeting in place of her sister, and things just kind of develop from there. And then we have 1, 2, 4, 18, and 18, the limited edition version of it. So I just really like that cover. And then you get a bonus story, which I haven't unwrapped this yet. And then we have volume 1 of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. I have not read this yet. I know it's just going to be very fan servicey, ecchi, obviously, but she looks cute, and I kind of wanted to just start getting into it. All right, up next we are on to my bigger shelf. This just holds all my haiku stuff. Obviously, it's my haiku shelf, and they're tucked back there. But I have 1 through 5, and then 42 to 45. 45 is tucked back there. Not super easy to see, but yeah, that's about it for Haikyuu. It's a big dedication to collect, so I just haven't been prioritizing it because I know I'm not gonna read it for a while, even though I love it, but I feel like I'm pretty good for right now. Alright, and then for Fruits Basket, I have all of the Tokyo Pop versions 1 through 23. And then we have a couple art books just chilling here, and that'll be in my end of the month kind of haul for manga, so I'm going to be including that too. Then we have the DVD box set for, I think, part 2, season 2, and it comes with these like little rocks and these like pictures, and this also came out of the box, but I was like, oh cool, I can kind of display all 3. Another one up there, we have the Fruits Basket planner and a sticker collection. And then behind the boys, just because I don't want to move it, it's 1 almost to 12. I will have the very last volume. I am just missing 8 for the collector's edition. So I will have both. Let me just kind of slide that out of the way. But yeah, there's that. Behind that, I have a couple more volumes of volume 2 of the Tokyo Pop Fruits Basket. And then just like kind of the random things, like they're doing like a little set on Right Stuff, and that's why I got those. But if you have not watched Fruits Basket or read Fruits Basket, please do so. It is a fantastic series, and it's popular for a reason. Pretty much it's about our girl Toru, the best girl in the world. She is a homeless orphan at one point, and she starts camping behind what she didn't know at the time, but Yuki's house. And he's like the most popular boy in the school. And she just happens to find out a secret about their whole family's pretty much zodiac animals, so they are cursed and they cannot be, so obviously they'll like change into like their zodiac animals, and Kyo is kind of rejected by them. So but definitely check this out. It's an emotional ride, but it's probably the best series, and it's in my top 3 for a reason. It's just an incredible series, so please definitely check it out. All right, working our way to this shelf, I'm actually going to move these knickknacks off, and then we will start going through. Okay, I tried to move these to make it easier, but it's honestly just horrible and incredibly triggering with how just unorganized it looks. But I have volumes 1 through 3. I pretty much almost have all of the volumes. Like back there we have 11, 12, 13, or 13, 16, 17, and then we have 30, 28, 14, 18, 19, 20, like pretty much almost it all. Or right now I do have a lot of it backordered, so I will be collecting the whole thing. Yona the Dawn is a fantastic series, a fantastic kind of like adventure romance. It centers around Yona, obviously, and her dad ends up getting killed. Like, she was a princess, so she's never really had to do much, but they're after her, so she has to essentially abandon the castle and go learn to become pretty much a badass and survive with Hawks, who is her childhood friend and also has always been her, like, I guess, protector. Like, he's always kind of been the one assigned to that, but he is, everything. All the men in there, fantastic. Definitely check it out. It's so good, and I don't know how much to like say about it without giving away details, so I'm just gonna leave it fantastic. If you love strong, powerful women, beautiful men, and action, this is for you. Okay, so I'm not gonna move this one the way I did with Yona, because it really did not look good and it was kind of a mess. But I pretty much have almost all of Kimi no Todoke. I'm just missing a few volumes, and those are also back ordered and they'll be on their way hopefully soon. But this is also one of my favorite romance series. It's so good. The friendships are great in it. The romance is very much like kind of a slow burn, but it's worth it. It's so cute. She is a girl that's kind of just misunderstood, and people think she's scary, so they kind of avoid her, but she's really just a sweetie who wants friends and to help people. And our boy here notices that, and he kind of helps her grow and change along with her friends, and it is just a beautiful story. Working our way behind what was behind Snow White, We have Shortcake Cake. I'm just missing the last volume, which is volume 12. This is a great series and kind of shorter, but it focuses around 10, and then there is a couple boys that are kind of mixed into a love triangle, but the relationships progress and you'll figure out like kind of who's with who and all that pretty quickly. But she's kind of like a very independent, strong girl. She moves into kind of a boarding house while she's in high school, and that's how she meets them all. And the boy she's kind of in question with, and the one that she kind of ends up with, has quite an interesting past. So they kind of work to discover that and grow from that. But it's really, really good. Cute series. Definitely check it out. I mean, look at these little strawberries down here too. Super cute. Alright, so I just lined these up, but it is Snow White with the red hair. Very similar vibes to Yona of the Dawn, but we have a girl, she is a herbalist, and Shirayuki, I think that's all right, but she is a herbalist, and she sticks out because she has red hair, and she ends up having to leave her town because I think like the prince wants to be with her, but she doesn't want to be with him, so she kind of ends up on the run that way. And she meets Prince Zen, and just great things happen from there. So, because she actually ends up helping pretty much a prince. She didn't know he was a prince, but this is such a good series. She's very like strong and independent. I like that the romance isn't like, it doesn't take away from her doing her thing and becoming, but becoming really strong. But this is such a good series, and obviously best boy Obi, we love him. Everything is just collapsing, but I pretty much have almost all of that, but I have it also all back ordered and I'm just waiting for it to come in. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, the shelf is very annoying to move around because there's just so much on it and so much happening. So I'm not going to pull out everything or move everything around for the back part, so I'm very sorry, but it is, it's a mess, but you can pretty much see everything anyways. But we will start here. We have 1 through 5 of Blue Period. This is a painting anime, or manga too, but it's also an anime. But it's super good, and I really like that you obviously learn a lot about painting, but there's really unique characters. There's one that breaks like the gender norm stereotypes. But then the main character, I really like him because he just was kind of living, and he didn't have much to live for, and then he finds painting, and that's all he wants to do, so he finally has a passion and motivation to keep going, and I think that's very relatable. But it is really good, and I really like all the characters. Then we have all 1 through 8 of Blue Flag. This is one of my favorite series, even though I do feel like the ending was rushed. Still a fantastic read. I would love a spin-off to find out more about what happened, because there's a lot of questions I had towards the end of like, excuse me, I would have liked to see how that happened. But very good series. There's LGBTQ kind of characters and stuff in there, so super good, but definitely recommend it. And then I actually just got these in the mail today, but I decided I wanted to start collecting the Lovecom manga. It's Lovely Complex, but it's pretty much childhood best friends, and it's a tall girl with a short boy, and kind of seeing how their relationship develops. But it's really funny and cute. And then behind that we have Sweat and Soap. I have, I think, up to volume 8. I think I'm missing like volume 6 or something, and then I have the Japanese version in volume 11, or that's the very last volume. I stopped collecting it because they're coming out with a box set, and I'd rather have the box set. This is also a really good and really healthy adult romance, and it's super cute. But like the girl, she is very insecure about her sweating problem, and she works at a soap company, and he happens to design the soaps, and he is really enthralled by her scent, and then their relationship grows from there. I'm sorry for how bad this is, but back there we have Something's Wrong with Us. This is a really good, like very dramatic and like nice little spicy series, but it follows a girl who, her and her mom lived at a kind of like mansion as and her mom was a chocolate maker, but then the boy, because she was friends with the
family's like son, and they were really close, but the boy finds his dad dead and he pins it on her mom. So a lot happens there that kind of ruins that girl's life. And then they end up meeting in the future again. He doesn't know that it's her though. And they kind of start a marriage. And he is just, it's a mess. I don't know how much more to go into detail, but it's a mess, but it's so good. Then back here we have Perfect World. I have 2s down there, but I have 1 through 7 right now. I plan on getting the rest. This is such a kind of an emotional roller coaster manga, but it's so good. It's about a boy who the girl ended up having a crush on in high school, and they end up meeting when they're older, and he is actually now in a wheelchair, so they kind of have to learn how to navigate around that. And it definitely opens your eyes to things that you don't think about for people who do have to live life in a wheelchair. So it definitely opens your eyes to like kind of how inaccessible the world is and how they can be discriminatory against people that have disabilities. But it is such a great series. It's emotional, so just a heads up, but it's definitely worth the read. Up front, we have volumes 1 through 14 of Horimiya. I really love the anime, so I decided to pick up the manga. I haven't started reading it yet because I've just been so invested in all my other like manga that I've been reading, but I love this series. This is also an art book, and I will be going over that again towards the end of the month in my kind of like manga haul video, just kind of throwing that in there. So this is now my proud display. But Horimiya is also a fantastic romance anime, funny and sweet and just so good. And like it's great when the couple just immediately pretty much gets together, so that's a nice little bonus, so you can actually just watch their relationship progress. Right back here, I actually have a box set that's holding all of 1 through 5 of Wotakoi. I got it as a bonus when I got the Japanese like version, the last edition, which is 11. So I do have the Japanese version just because I thought that was so cute. I think it also has like the DVD and stuff in there too. But I really wanted the box set to hold them all, but we're actually also getting an English one, so I will also be picking that up. Wotakoi is a fantastic series. It's about pretty much a group of otakus who have an office romance. These two are childhood best friends, and then they end up dating. And then the other couple in there is their high school sweethearts. So super good, great characters, very funny. And then there's another couple in there that is, actually I don't want to spoil anything, but there's another couple in there. So if you don't, I don't want to spoil anything, but fantastic series. Definitely give a read. And then down here we have volumes 1 through 7, and I have 8, it's kind of tucked back here, of Living Room Matsunaga-san, one of my current favorite series. It is so good, but it is an age gap relationship, just a heads up. But pretty much a girl ends up living in a boarding house that her uncle owns while she goes to high school, and she meets Matsunaga-san, and she starts developing feelings for him, and it just kind of goes from there. But I love this series so much, and I cannot wait for the next part. I am very invested in it. And then up top we have volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Sign of Affection. They're just kind of like tucked back there. But this is such a good series. I cannot recommend it enough. Such a cute romance. They're college age, so we finally have some college kids. And it is about a girl named Yuki who is deaf. And the boy is Itsume? I think it's Itsume. I don't know why I blanked there. But he actually is kind of like a mysterious popular boy, and he travels the world, so he really likes to know and learn different languages and cultures. So I think that's kind of why he's like drawn to Yuki, because he kind of like would learn sign language and learn a whole different thing. But their relationship is so cute. Please give it a read. Alright, we're gonna kind of just rush through this shelf because I haven't read a lot of them. But we have Berserk, Volume 2, the deluxe edition. Hoping one day I can have Volume 1 so I can read it. Then we have Vagabond, just 1 through 4. Another series I really want to dive into, but just haven't got around to. Full Metal Alchemist, the Full Metal editions. We have 1, 12, 14, and 15. I'm not in a mad rush to read this right now, but I am excited to get into it, and I really like how the mangas look. Then over here we have Goodnight Poon Poon, all 1 through 7. It is an emotional, sad read, very, very depressing. And then we have another thing from the same author, Ino Asano, Downfall, which I haven't started reading yet. Then up top we have some Vinland Saga. Absolutely adored the anime, so that's why I started picking up the manga. And then we have the Drifting Classroom, just volume 2, so can't start reading that until we get volume 1. Okay, so we're kind of in the behind part of the shelf, but pretty much we have the Genshin. I will not be collecting anymore, or if I do, I'll be buying it secondhand because the mangaka is not a good person. So won't be really picking up any more of that, even if I do end up liking it. Then we have Maid-sama, volumes 1 and 2, and 3 and 4. Maid-sama is also a fantastic romance series. It's definitely one that you'd either love or hate, giving the male character. Then down here we have Elephant Lied, the volume 1. Then we have I Am a Hero, volumes 1 and 2. Then D. Gray Man, 1 through 3. Crocona's Basketball, 1 2. Definitely check out Crocona's Basketball if you like sports animes like Haikyuu and all that. It's such a good series. Then Heaven's Design Team, it's pretty much kind of just goes over how they believe the animals came to be on the earth, like how heaven designed them. Then we have Way of the House Husband, which is a nice, funny one about a former Yakuza leader who now is just a house husband. Then we also have Land of the Illustrious. I haven't started reading that yet. Solo Leveling, also haven't started reading. Dead Demons Did Destruction, which is also another Ino Asano one. Paradise Kiss, the 20th anniversary edition. Madoka Magica, the Flowers of Evil, which I'm really excited to start eventually. And then we have Monster, which is another kind of like really good kind of horror, more like thriller, I guess, not super like horror, but really good. And then Ibisu, which I haven't started reading yet either, but just looks creepy. And then real quick, we also have the box sets of Ouran High School Host Club and Demon Slayer. I also haven't started reading that yet because I feel pretty satisfied with Demon Slayer right now, just with the anime, so eventually I will get into the manga and Ouran High School Host Club. I can't wait to start getting into that, but just kind of been prioritizing other manga. Okay, so I rotate these around to make it a little easier to show, but I have 0, 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm missing volume 10, but it's actually being shipped to me right now, so just waiting to add that in. Then we have all of Chainsaw Man 1 through 8, that's currently out. And then we have One Punch Man's volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 19, 20, and 23. I'm just kind of slowly collecting that. I really like the art style of One Punch Man, and it's just funny. So I want to start collecting that too. And then back here is pretty much all BL and a few spicy reads. We have Gravitation. It's the light novel. I just got it secondhand, so I went ahead and picked it up, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of Gravitation. Then we have 2 and 3 of Sasuke and Minato. Ooh. But I can't start reading this yet, but I'm very excited to because it seems super cute and it is getting an anime adaptation soon. And then we have volumes 1 and 2 of I Cannot Reach You. It's so far pretty wholesome, but it's about a kid who is in love with his friend and just kind of seeing where that goes. The very controversial Yarden Bitch Club. They're coming out with a 4th one. Did I pre-order? Yes. Do I feel like trash? Yes. This is not Loyal Line of Heart. It is, I'm not even gonna explain it. It's just very, ooh, it's got some essay in it. It's not good. It's toxic. But you know, then we also have 10 count, all of 1 through 6. I really like 10 count, even though there's parts in it that are questionable to me, but that's kind of BL in general. Then we also have volume 1 of Black and White. I haven't started reading that yet. 4th Generation Head. I really, really like this series. It's a one-shot. I don't know why I call this series. It's a one-shot. But it's honestly more wholesome than it looks. Then we have Secret XXX. If you like Therapy Game, which I haven't read that yet, but it's kind of similar or something like that, or like kind of similar characters. But this is really a cute one with a nice little spice. Then we have Case Haven. Oh my god, is that the most toxic thing I have been reading? Oof. But it's pretty much that the school plays a game with cards where it kind of decides the rank of who's popular and who's not. And it's very manipulative and horrible, and it's kind of like a car crash. You just can't look away. Did I order more volumes? Absolutely. There's one couple in here though that I'm very excited about. They're more wholesome and sweet. And then these are backwards, but I have Jealousy. I haven't read that yet. I Hear the Sunspot. First one, 2, Limit 3. I kind of messed that up. The Candy Color Paradox. Haven't read that yet either. Classmates I just caught up on here. It is so good, so cute. Teacher's obviously problematic, but I really like this. The Two Lions I really liked. It's very like two very like polar opposite characters. It's a really sweet one. Sayonara Game, perfect amount of spice and good story. Then we have the Yakuza Lover, 1 through 3. That is just a very spicy read. It's a girl that ends up with a Yakuza leader. And then we have Fire in His Fingertips, which is a very nice spicy read for the ladies mainly. Okay, so this shelf is pretty jam-packed full. So I'm just gonna set these down. Okay, so I will eventually have all of Given. It's being shipped right now, 4 and 6. So all of what's currently out. Then we have one of my favorite covers for Comey Can't Communicate. I have, I think, I have some random volumes, but we have 3, 1, 2, 15, and then behind that, because I didn't have anywhere else to put it, we have The Promised Neverland. I only have up to a 1, 2, and 3, and that's what's tucked back there, and then we'll get back to that shelf in a second, or back the back part. And then we have Those Not So Sweet Boys. Currently it's only up to volume 4. And then I have all of Waiting for Spring. This is just my favorite cover, so I have that displayed, but I have all of it. They're all really pretty covers. I like how they're all like almost like a pastel. And then I have, this is my favorite cover that I currently have of A Haru Ride, volume 5, and I have 1 to 4. And then I also have Hatsuharu, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 5. I cannot find volume 4 to save my life. So hopefully one day I can find that and continue, because I did like the story. But pretty much all of these are like romance, like very basic kind of shoujo. So if you like that, you would like any of these. Just kind of a quick rundown of them. And then back here I have a few more BLs. We have Cherry Magic, which is like an office romance. My Hero, I can never pronounce the first part, but this is definitely, it's like an age gap one, so just a fair warning on that. But I do really like it, and I like all the covers. They have a side couple in there that I also very much enjoy. And then we have The Golden Sheep 1 and 2. I need to get the third one, but I haven't started reading it yet. The God's Lie is a really good one shot. It's kind of like it has like a good mystery to it, but it's also very sad. And then the first volume of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. I haven't read it yet, and I honestly don't know if I'll keep collecting. Then I have a random volume 2 of Kaguya-sama Love is War. I do want to start collecting that eventually, but they're kind of hard to find right now. Fly Me to the Moon is a great, cute little romance. Honey So Sweet. I want to get more of it, but I really like it. It's like a girl kind of falls in love with it, or he's like a delinquent and kind of falls in love with her, and it goes from there. Love Me, Love Me Not. I haven't started reading volume 1 yet. And of course we have Kiss Him Not Me. It's pretty much a weeb girl who loses weight, and then all of a sudden a bunch of boys are obsessed with her, except for one boy who's always accepted her, and he's best boy. Then we have Say I Love You, which is another kind of, not sure how I feel about it, romance one. It's something. And then we Never Learn. I haven't started reading that one yet either. Mint Chocolate. I actually really like it, even though it's a step-sibling relationship. But they liked each other before. They were step-siblings, so I give it a pass. And then we have Fiance of the Wizard. I haven't started reading this one yet, but it looks really pretty, and volume 4 is the last one, and I need to pick that up. And we have Daytime Shooting Star. I also haven't started getting around to that yet, but I'm excited to. And then we have The Legend of Dorotoro and Hayakimaru. I really like the anime, so I want to start collecting the manga. Up top we have some random volumes of Slam Dunk, which is obviously a basketball one. And then My Summer View, which is a really cute, kind of more wholesome BL. And then Hanger, I haven't read that yet, but I believe it's also a BL. Okay, so I have some JoJo volumes. I have only volume 3 of Phantom Blood, and then I have 2 and 3 of Battle Tendencies. Then I have 1, 2, and 5 of Stardust Crusaders. I mostly have the Diamond is Unbreakable, and even that's kind of, it's just like, it's such a, they're more expensive, so I find myself having a harder time picking up when I'm out. But I have 1, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of Diamond is Unbreakable, and then the first 2 that are out of Golden Wind. And then over here we have, I'm gonna slide the boys out of the way here. And then I have 1 and 2 of the case study of Venetis, and I haven't started reading it yet, but the anime was really pretty. And then we have Life Lessons with Uramichi Oni-san, which is one of my favorite series, and I have 1 and 2. And then I have volume 3 pre-ordered. On top of this, I just have a random volume of Rascal Does Not Dream Bunny Girl Senpai, obviously since I love Mai. And then I have 2 and 3 that I randomly got at kind of a secondhand store of Ultra Manic. So, don't really remember what that one's about, but it looked cute. I actually forgot I had this one tucked back behind the Uramichi Oni-san ones. Haru's Curse. I think it's just a one-shot, but I'm very excited to start that one. Looks like it might have some emotional damage, but we'll see. I also just want to talk about how much I love the back of, I think it's, yeah, the second one, because Misa is best boy. So the back part is pretty jam-packed full. Up top we have 1 volume of Yu Yu Hakusho, and then Your Lie in April, and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Then we have the first volume of Noragami and Bakuman. I'm going to read the first one and decide if I'm going to get the box set. Then we have Bakuno, just the first volume, and number 6, also the first volume. And then up there, I'm sorry, it's kind of dark. It's hard to get light down here. But then we have Kinkashi. I don't really know much about it, but it's like an older series. Then the first volume of Blue Exorcist, Tokyo Ghoul, and Beastars. Working our way down, we have Love Hina, Samurai Deeper Kyo, Madoka Magica, Full Moon, Toto. There's some random Kingdom Hearts Memories ones that my brother gave me. A Foley Coley, Vampire Knight, Volume 1, 1, 2, 3 of Bleach, Yuki-chan. These are all I got like at secondhand stores. All of Absolute Boyfriend, 2 to 7 of Fire Force, which I also got at a secondhand store. Bloody Monday, I got I think a couple volumes, and then I had to buy 1 volume. And then Attack on Titan, No Regrets. Okay, so then I have this random like bottom shelf of like my figures, just filled with manga. So we have Hell's Paradise Volumes 1, 4, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and I will be getting Volume 2 soon. I also have all the other ones on back order. Then we have QQ Sweeper 2 and 3. Volume 1 was sold out, so I can't start that one yet. And then we have Queen's Quality, which you start reading after. I'm very excited to get into that. And I just have volumes 1 and 3. Then we have some Hunter x Hunter. We have 1, 3, 5, 13, 18, 20, 21, and 23. On top of that, we have it's Restart After Coming Back Home. It is a BL. It's a very wholesome one, and it's really cute. And there is going to be a sequel coming out. I think it's Restart After Going Hungry or something random like that. But I'm very excited to get more of this story because they are super cute together. Alright, behind that we have Blade of the Immortal, the deluxe editions. We have 2 and 4. Then Tomi and Uzumaki and Renma, which are all Junji Ito ones. And then volumes 1 through 5 of Saint Young Men. And then we also have some Natsumi's Book of Friends. They have some of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. And I actually pulled one down to show you guys. But like, this art is absolutely beautiful. And lastly, this one's kind of hard to show because they're kind of in a weird order. But we have some Banana Fish. We have 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Going up, we have 7, 11, 12, 15. And then up top is 9, 1, and 19. And I have all the others back ordered as well. So hopefully eventually I will have it all. But I have 11 out of 19 so far.
Whew, alright. We have survived getting through that. This video was a lot more physically demanding to film than I thought, like having to crouch on the ground and everything to make sure I get everything and constantly moving the books. But it's all worth it to show you guys this beautiful collection that I've spent a lot of money on. Just again, thank you so much if you did watch this video, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.